Hi, I'm Dr. Rosie Roeder, board-certified plastic surgeon.
And I'm Andrea Spar, board-certified dermatology PA.
And we are the Rejuveness podcast. And today we're going to talk to you about a hot topic out there that I think we mentioned at one of our previous podcasts, which is Korean skincare.
And apparently it's like the rage on TikTok right now too, because everybody's like, I've got this product, and then they're selling it.
And it's not just Korean skincare, but it has Spiral. Even all these young kids, like 10, 12 years old, asking their parents to go to Ulta to buy all these beauty regimens. So maybe we can incorporate a little bit of that here onto this podcast.
It's one of my little pet peeves too, because again, less is more. And when it comes to Korean skincare, there's nothing less about it.
Really?
Yes. Most of their things that they recommend is at least a 7 to 10 step routine. And it's outrageous.
Well, I can barely do my 3 in the morning. So maybe that's why I don't know a lot about it. Right. So I'm looking to get educated by Andrea today, as well as you guys will get a lot of information from her.
I mean, some of the stuff's fabulous, and I think we talked about on the previous podcast. I'm okay. I really like their sunscreens. Their sunscreens, again, have better ingredients. They're formulated differently, and we talked about the U.S. being behind on that. They haven't had a new patent in since the early 90s, so Korean sun care is fabulous. When it comes to skincare products, a lot of their stuff that come packaged now aren't in English, and when patients come in, they're like, is this good for me to be using on my face? I can't tell you because I don't know the ingredients in it. And there's hidden ingredients that can just flare anything on anybody. And so I always try and say, let's look at it. Let's Google it together. We'll see what works well. Niacinamide is in a lot of Korean skincare, and I absolutely love it.
Okay. So you said that there's like 7 to 10 steps to this thing.
And I printed them out on ChatGPT, so I didn't get them wrong because it's so complicated.
Oh my goodness. So I want to start with that, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Going through like the 10 steps that they think you need to do.
So first step, they talk about doing an oil cleanser, okay? Your oil cleansers, some people use it just at night to get most of their makeup off. So it's supposed to melt away the makeup basically, but you never just do an oil cleanser routine. You always have to follow it by with a regular cleansing routine, okay? So that's 1 and 2. 3, exfoliating. People should not be exfoliating every single day. That will put micro cuts in your skin, which allows bacteria to get in, and especially if you're acne prone, that's going to cause more little places that acne bacteria can climb in. So if you do exfoliate, I would say only 2 to 3 times a week. So again, this is their nightly 10-step routine, and I don't fully agree with it. All right. Next, we're going to do toners. Toners are not for everyone, okay? If you want to use a toner, it's supposed to reset the pH balance of your face. Fine, fabulous, but for some people it can be very, very drying, especially if you have sensitive skin. Next, they were talking about essences. Essences are kind of like sprays that you can use on the face that help rehydrate, but they're supposed to help absorb the medications and the serums that you put on after that.
Okay, so what's in those?
God, I have no idea. Again,
because I was just trying to understand what that's all about.
The one that I use that says essence is going to be a SkinCeuticals, the redness relief one that you had sprayed on for rosacea. It's they're supposed to help soothe the skin. But like I said, a lot of the Korean ones have foreign language on it, and I can't tell you what ingredients in there, but the ingredient list is this long. Okay. So we're up to number 5. So we have oil-based cleanser, water-based cleanser, exfoliating, toner, essence. Next is going to be your serums and ampules. So a lot of their stuff, again, serum's going to be like your hyaluronic acid, which are fabulous. Hyaluronic acid is a humectant. It's supposed to help push moisture into the skin. So it's made to go on a wet face. And I think that's why they spray with the essence, because the toner's drying the face out. So you just had to remake the face wet after you dried it to remake it wet again to put your serums on. Okay. Then your ampules, which can be like little things like retinol, vitamin C, things that you can use with microneedling in the face if you're using like any tools to help get your stuff across the barrier itself. Okay. All right. Then they start talking about sheet masks. Again, sheet masks are okay. They're okay to use here and there, but I just don't think you need to put a sheet mask on every night. And you'll see some of these TikTokers doing a morning shed, and they put on a collagen sheet mask every single night, the lip tape, the hair wrap, and they're just peeling it all off in the mornings. I don't think you're getting as much benefit from that. I think even just using it once a week, you will still see some benefit from those face masks.
Okay. I'm here just thinking how much time this takes.
Okay, eye cream, But again, I love eye cream. I tell people that, you know, that's one of my go-tos. I have like 4 or 5 that I rotate between. So eye cream's fabulous. It's good to have in a routine.
Wait, I'm already lost. The eye cream is what step?
It's number 8. It's after the sheet mask. So when you peel the sheet mask off, if you don't sleep in it, then you put the eye cream on. But some of those have bigger holes, so you can still get the eye cream in.
All right, so maybe simultaneously you can do 7 and 8, but okay. So
but it definitely should be before most of that, I would think. Moisturizer after all that comes on, because you're trying to lock everything in, and then your sunscreen.
Okay.
So these little tweens that are 9 to 13 that are begging you to take them to Sephora and Ulta to buy every single thing on this list to do a 10-step Korean routine because it was something cool they saw, are just tearing up their skin barriers. Kids that age literally need a wash, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. Very simple. I usually recommend the brand Ever Eden for my tweens and teens. They have fabulous things, organic products, doesn't have a lot of irritants in it. They even make things for pregnant women and soon to be moms and babies, so it's a good company, but minimizing. And I have to explain to them, because every time I look at a kid that's coming in with acne at 11 years old, they look at their mom and they're like, I said, what did you buy off TikTok? And the mom's like, well, they wanted the beef tallow moisturizer, and then they saw somebody where they were using crushed up apple juice as a toner. Like it's getting really unreal out there, and I'm having to reel it back in. But again, I'm not dissing on every product that is made for Korean skincare. It's just the amount of steps, the ages that they're promoting it at, and then some just repeat stuff. You don't need to do collagen mask every single night. You don't need to microneedle or microblade or dermaplane, or use a toner every single day. You don't have to exfoliate every single day. Again, less is more, people.
I mean, I grew up in the age of like dial soaps, Stridex.
Right.
Maybe a benzoyl peroxide, something in your skin. I mean, when I was a teen, we worried about nothing about this. You know, my dad worked for Johnson & Johnson, and I think we were one of the first kids in the early 80s to get a sunscreen. But that was it. Like, we didn't even think about sunscreen on a daily basis. I love the fact that there's awareness and that people understand their skin and they want to do good things for themselves. I just am not a person that has enough time to do all of these things in a busy life. I give absolute props to somebody who wants to do this. I do think that there's probably lots of things that are valuable in there, but I do agree that not everybody needs 12 things. No. They need to focus and they need to be guided. I will tell you that I am 48. So TikTok is not where I go to get my information. It's so new. And it's amazing when my teenage boys will tell me about it.
Social media has become everything for these kids. And growing up in my age too, because I'm 36, I didn't enter into a world of just electronics and computers and the web and all that stuff. Like, we still played outside, and, you know, 13-year-olds now do not look like 13-year-olds back then.
Right.
They've got all their makeup and their highlighter and their bronzer, and I had a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt sitting in the middle of a picture.
Makeup is what, like step 15 here?
I mean, that's definitely at the bottom. 10 steps can be very overwhelming. Very, very overwhelming.
I guess. I mean, I don't use makeup on a regular basis anyway, mostly because I'm too lazy to take it off. I guess I'm too lazy for step 1, so I'm not even sure how I would get into step 13.
Because if you do step 1, you have to add step 2, so you have to do a second wash. Right. And like I said, for most, even like my teenage boys, I'm like, just wash your face in the shower, because when you get out, you're like, I'm not going to the sink to wash my face. Just wash it in the shower for me.
And I guess if you want to know what we do, we did an episode where we talked about the skincare that we actually use. Right. And I tend to do 2 or 3 things. And I'm not super consistent with it. So I feel like I'm my worst enemy. Patients ask me what I do, and I tell them simply and as to what I do. But I think it's very curious. And one of the things about globalization and access to information is that we're trying to seek the best that exists in the world. And if Korea's sunscreen is the best that exists in the world, I'm all for it. Right. You know, I travel a lot, and when I go to France and Spain, I try to go to their pharmacies and to their stores and see what they have, because it's very different, and I love the simplicity. Right. And I want to say regulation. I know in the United States we don't like that.
Too, but because of regulations.
Yeah, the better quality ingredients come because the European Union put some regulation on what you can and cannot put in products that are toxic, right? So there's great things about globalization. Right. You got to keep your eye out of there. So are there any great things besides the sunscreen or any of these steps that you think are reasonable that people should be taking?
Reasonable SPF every single day. I mean, that's got to be your commitment, because if you're going to do all this product to make your skin better and fix your skin barrier, the sun's just going to tear it right back down. The pollution's in the air is just going to tear it back down. So you need to be wearing your SPF. Like I said, ingredients like niacinamide that can help brighten the skin, help with dark spots, help rebuild that skin barrier are fabulous products to an ingredient to look to find something's in. There's other things on the market like snail mucin that people are liking right now, but if you were acne prone, some of those products are thick. It's going to clog your pores. It's going to make more acne happen, even though they're guaranteeing to produce collagen and hydrate the skin and also help fix the barrier. Every product, just because it's good, does not mean it's good for you.
Right, because we could probably do a whole segment just describing skin types. Right, from a Fitzpatrick 1 to 5 and all the other things in between, not just the skin tone, but then oily skin, dry skin, combination skin. Everything changes.
And it's a trial and error, because what works for my skin does not work for your skin. What worked for my skin 15 years ago does not work for children now for their acne. Again, pollutants in the air, things have changed. Blue light on the screen can break somebody's face out if you're sitting in front of a computer all day. Yes. Like those little things that are so big now, we didn't have a lot of that when we were younger. So that's why things aren't working as well. Like the old people are like, oh yeah, just put Vaseline on everything. Vaseline fixes everything. It only helps to a certain extent. It doesn't fix everything anymore. You still have to add other things in. And like I said in the last episode and first episode, it's all about the maintenance.
Yes. Well, and when you talk about globalization and you talk about access to information and getting what's best in the world, the other thing you have to think about as well, and I was born in Brazil, so I come from a different country, a different culture, and I do travel to a lot of places and have lived in Europe. I'll tell you that the downside of that is that there are cultural differences in what people are looking for culturally in the outcomes of their skin. And there are different things that you're exposed to in different areas of the world. The sun hits differently.
Yes.
In the southern hemisphere. Yeah, hotter in the equator than they do in the upper. Then there's pollution ratios. I mean, I grew up in Latin America in a time where we didn't have a lot of regulation with the pollutants that go in the air. That makes a difference to the exposure of your skin. Knowledge about smoking. In some places it was really fancy. Like when I moved to Europe in the early 2000s, everybody still smoked at restaurants and bars. Right. That not only harms the skin of the smoker, but the skin of the person next to them. Right. So there are different environmental and exposure things, and there's also different things that people are looking for. So when you go somewhere else to buy your skincare or have plastic surgery, let's say abroad, you might be getting a different aesthetic than what fits where you live.
Right. Next will be an ingredient called Cica, it's Centella acetica.
So it's basically silicone.
Yeah, basically.
Let's just talk about it. Let's just say what it is.
But
silica is basically a byproduct.
And it's in Cicaplast. It's the La Roche-Posay. But again, some of those can help soothe the skin. Some of the root-based mineral flower products that actually get crunched down and put into things accept better on some skins than others. Another one's propolis, and I'm going to use this to kind of lead into a little other talk. Propolis is a part of beeswax. A lot of people don't know that. Just like when people look for sugars and they see aspartame and they don't know if that's part of other things, or sucrose. The thing with that is it generally can cause eyelid dermatitis or flares of dermatitis on sensitive skin. It can flare rosacea. It can flare acne. Yep. Those types of products, if you don't know, I'm allergic to beeswax, but I'm going to use this ingredient. I don't know why, because this is breaking me out, but it doesn't say beeswax. Propolis is a part of that. So some people come in with their eyelids on fire and they don't know why. And I'm like, you just gave yourself eyelid dermatitis.
Knowingly. So when somebody comes in with, and they do come to me sometimes sometimes for something else, and they bring this up. They bring their eyelid dermatitis or their perioral dermatitis. The first thing I ask them is, what are you putting on your skin?
Yeah. And I have people that reach out to me that, use other products, use prescription products, but they're telling everybody they're using bee pollen and beef tallow, and that's what's fixing their skin because they're selling it. So they're marketing that product when medicated products or other products are actually fixing it. But eyelid dermatitis is a beast because it's hard to get back under control. Especially if you don't know what caused it. People touch their face 300 times a day unknowingly, and everybody can fight with me and say, I never touch my face. Well, do you monitor yourself in your sleep? Do you watch playback by playback? You're probably touching your face.
Well, most of this is unconscious behavior that we have.
Right.
We are constantly doing things, have our own little tics that we don't even know about.
And you could have touched a door that somebody cleaned with some specific product, and you did this as soon as you walked in and wiped your eyelid. And it takes one break in that skin barrier to cause a flare, and it's out of control, and it's going to take weeks to over a few months to get it back under control.
I mean, I'm Latin and Italian, so I know that I'm constantly moving my hands like I am right now, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing is what we do with our face.
Yeah.
The way we wash our hands, the way we wash our face, like all of that becomes ingrained and so subconscious that you might not even know.
But even fumes off things like acetone or nail polishes, even if you're not touching your face with nail polish, can flare something up on your skin. Acrylic nails, polishes, dips, touching your face can flare it up. Mascara. People that have nickel allergy do not think when they're using an eyelash curler that eyelash curler is metal and it probably has nickel in it and it's flaring them up. So at that point, I'm trying to take everybody back down to the bare basics. We just use a gentle cleanser, a gentle moisturizer, and your sunscreen. And I make you do that for a good month, okay? Because it's going to take weeks. And if I get it calmed down a little bit, you're going to rebound because you're going to go back and add in the 10-step routine that you've built yourself, and we still don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, even in our medical grade products, at times people will have reactions to it, and they know that they started that one step.
Yeah.
And so one thing I caution people is don't start too many things at once because you won't know what's causing your problem or your allergy.
Well, they'll say, well, I really love these products. I spent $300 on them. Okay, save them. Hold on to them. Let me get your skin back under control. We can always add one thing back in at a time. And then if that one thing breaks you out, you can't use it. We'll clear it back up, add something else back in. But I do not let my people go back straight to a 10-step routine. Even after a month of being clear, we add things back in. If they really want to get down and dirty, I'll send them for allergy testing because propolis pops up on a lot of things that get sent back to me. Because again, people don't understand that beeswax has different names. A lot of ingredients have different names. But everybody loves their products and they don't want to give it up.
Oh, especially if you spend so much money on it.
And they just want to come in
right?
and get a prednisone shot or hydrocortisone 2.5% to calm it down at the time. And then they're back in 4 weeks with a flare again.
And I just took a deep breath and I sighed here because I'm very stingy with Medropax and prednisone. And I mean, more so, I think, than dermatologists because a lot of the conditions they have to treat allergy-wise do require those potent steroids. And I come from the surgery world where steroids, impede healing, and it's like a less resort for me. I'd rather start you on a topical than an oral for mild things. Of course,
it's like people going to primary care asking for a antibiotic pack for a viral infection.
Yes.
Okay, it's again, but it's going to help a little bit with your dermatitis, and people like how fast it helps it, and they don't want to put the effort in of switching up to skincare. They just want to come in every week and get a steroid shot, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad that you mentioned allergy testing because I think it's important if you're reacting to something to maybe use an allergist and try to get the bottom of it. I've been told that allergies change every 7 years. I don't know if that's really true. I think that as we age, maybe our immune system gets a little bit more sensitive to things.
I also say, people get so mad at me about this because they say, I've never had this in my life. And I said, your skin's never been this old.
Yes.
It breaks down. It is aging with you. It is not the tight, fine line, no line skin that you had in your teens. You're getting fine lines, you're getting wrinkles. And in the midst of that is dry, cracked skin. And it just takes one little thing. But yeah, your skin's never been this old. Well, thing people hate that I say.
I know. I get this as well. And people are like, well, I've always been a good healer. And I said, well, have you always been 80?
Yes.
I don't know. You have always been 80, and you haven't had a surgical procedure in 20 years, right? If they're coming in for a Mohs or an excision, and even when they come in for surgery at 60, the last time they had a breast implant was in their 20s. Like, things are different. We have to accept that. All of us want to fight aging on the outside and the inside, but you have to be realistic about where you are in life. It's very important to also tell us what medicines that you're on. You know how many times people come with like not updated clipboards,
or they just put no medicines because they don't feel like putting them all in.
Yes, or they don't want to tell you because they think it's going to impede their care, or you're going to say no to them, and then you end up like inadvertently giving them something that can cross react. So it's very important to be honest. And I do want to know what all of the Korean things are that you're on, and it might be that it's fine, and if you're not having a reaction to it and you like doing the 12 steps, it's not a problem. And that's okay, because I mean, people are going to be fine. Like, some people are resistant to anything. They're never going to have a problem if they're willing to invest the money and the time, and then it's great. Like I said, they're actually very involved, and they may be really compliant with the other things that we will ask them to do for like their surgical treatment, or, you know, whatever dermatological treatment you're going to prescribe them that shows compliance, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
It just isn't, it's amazing to me the marketing that goes behind it, because I don't think we've ever talked about like French skincare,
right?
You know, New Zealand skincare.
Well,
like,
Typology is the French one that I like that people come out with, and they have like the tinted serums and stuff too. But again, I can read the ingredients and a lot of that, and a lot of it's good ingredients like the niacinamide and your SPF and your hyaluronic acids. One thing I want to talk about adding in for people who have like sensitive skin, eczema, rosacea, eyelid dermatitis, even ocular rosacea, this works well for, is a hypochlorous acid spray. So hypochlorous acid, basically your body makes it in your white blood cells, and it basically is a knockoff of killing all the inflammation, taking back, fighting bacteria, fighting viruses, fighting funguses, and it goes in and it stops the cell wall from continuing to form, and it basically just kills it. So when you're spraying it on the skin, it's fighting the bacteria in the sweat, it's fighting the yeast on the skin, all that good stuff. So I always recommend even adding that into your routine, especially if you're playing sports, you're going to be at the beach, you can't wash your face as much. People use it on body acne, back acne. There's different brands. It is a very soothing, we can call it essence or spray, that you can use. The one we sell at work is by a brand called Hydrinity. The actual container itself is triple layer wall, so it's shelf stable for 3 years. It's got like 720 sprays in it. Okay. And it's really affordable. And I'm like,
I love that stuff.
I do too. I took it to Asheville with me. I was spraying when I was sweating. But this can help soothe the skin due to the inflammatory properties that's in hypochlorous acid. It's actually FDA approved for wound care. And then they saw how it was doing on other places on the skin. They started making it in products and for like skincare to spray.
It's also an irrigant for the pocket of a breast augmentation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a good, well-rounded product like Retin-A. You know, like I'm like, what, Retin-A is your best well-rounded anti-aging product. This is going to be your best sensitive skin product. They make over-the-counter version. So Tower 28 is one that I like. I bought this last year just to take on vacation with me. The thing about the over-the-counter ones, because air can actually get back into it after you spray, they're only good for about 30 days. Like I said, this one's good, shelf stable for 3 years, just the way it's insulated. But I tell my people, just buy the travel size one, replace it every month, take it to practice with you, take it to soccer camp, take it on your vacation, keep it in the cooler if you want. So it's cool going on. Something cool going on the skin's way more soothing. But I actually have a patient that has rosacea, and they've got to where they only use this daily. They don't use any of the other products or any medications.
Well, I started using it, and I felt a big difference from the days that I use it and I don't, in terms of my rosacea too, because I have a little mild rosacea that you can see more when I work out, or you know, if I blush a little bit, it comes out a bit more. But I really love it. I really thought it was kind of like dumb and stupid at first.
Well, so now is everybody spraying this? But you can spray it on top of makeup. You can spray it on top of your SPF. It is a good, basically antimicrobial. And it's well-rounded, and it's, again, it treats many different sensitive skin things. And if you just don't have time to even wash your face after practice because you're so tired, you want to go home and go to bed, I tell my athletes, go ahead, spray a couple sprays on this before you climb in the bed at least. Thanks.
Yeah, at the very least.
At the very least.
Yeah.
Other brands, Target just started carrying Prequel. That's another brand that I like. I love their products. They're very basic products. They don't have all the extra ingredients in it as well. But again, Tower 28, Prequel over the counter, Hydrinity for actual Medicaid. You don't even have to have a prescription for this, but you do have to get an office that sells it or online from the company.
Oh, cool. I'm like, learned so much today, and I'm glad I'm doing a few of the things that I'm supposed to be doing, I guess.
Well, or not doing, because again, collagen mask every night, I think that's a little overkill. I don't think it's really promoting that much collagen into your face. So
I mean, it's fun to do a collagen mask maybe once a month, a couple. I mean,
I usually do stuff on Sundays. Sunday's like my extra stuff day. If I'm gonna put on like my brow serum, my eyelash serum, face masks, little eye patches, that Sundays will be my thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that everybody got a little bit of education on that. And I do, from the surgical standpoint, have to just put a plug in here as we're talking about foreign things, to be careful as to where you go, especially abroad for surgery.
Yeah.
And if you are planning on doing that, just do a lot of research. Ask that clinic if there's anybody local that you can speak to. If language is a barrier, then remember it's a barrier.
Side story, one of my best friends in high school, her mom went to Mexico to have her Roux-en-Y done, and what, if people don't know what that is, it's kind of where they shrink your stomach and stuff so you can lose weight.
It's a bariatric surgery for weight loss.
She
bypass.
She about died, and they did not want to see her again after she about died. They just shipped her home, so she had to come here for care. So
you know what's really unfortunate is that there are some companies in the United States that the insurance that they carry for their employees will promote going abroad for procedures like this.
I didn't even know
and
that.
A Roux-en-Y gastric bypass is a very delicate and technical procedure. It does two different things for weight loss, and of course, completely different sidetrack. But here's my board certified general surgeon speaking. It's not something that you do surgery and then you leave, because continuity of care is important after any surgical procedure that you have, right? So something like that is very delicate, and you don't want to have a complication when you come back into the United States and not have to find somebody that helps you manage that complication, or get whoever's on call for the ER.
Because there are providers that won't see work from somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be reasonable about it, but, we have people calling the office all the time. Hey, I went to Texas. Hey, I went, and I'm talking like even in the United States, going to another state. I went abroad and now I'm having this problem. Can they see you? And I'm like, well, I can see you. But then they get offended if we charge them to see them.
Right.
And I said, well, I didn't provide you with your first operation, in which case you would be under what we call a global period, right? Where we would treat all of your postoperative complications based on what you paid me for the first operation. I'm here rendering you care for a complication that somebody else provided, and you do not want to pay me for that?
Right. Or they want you to take their drains out that they've had in for 4 weeks because they told them just to go home and have somebody take their drains out.
Right. Go to your primary care doctor, go to the ER and get your drain out. So think about anything that you do that's tied to a foreign or an outside provider or skincare that you may not know as much about it as you think you do. You might be following the marketing, you might be following the trend or the influencer, and they might not even know exactly what they've been asked or been paid to put on their face to promote to you on these platforms. If you have questions, bring it to somebody that you might know or trust. And hopefully there's a translation of what the ingredients are that we might be even able to trace down, right? And if you're going to go to another state and if you're going to go to another country, understand what the post-op care and follow-up that you're going to need to have. And even though you don't want to be the person, and you're never going to think you're the person that has a complication, if you do, you might be left without not a lot of options of people that will want to take care of you. I have taken care of so many people that have gone abroad for surgeries, and I try not to box them out of my practice and try to be empathetic that they're going through something that really sucks. So we want to be able to take care of them. But if you bring me an op report in French or in Korean or, in some foreign language, I might not even know what it is that they did to them. I speak Spanish fluently and I can read a Mexican or a Dominican report to at least gauge. But I've seen some of those where it's so vague. Like the patient came into the operating room.
They went to sleep and they woke up and went home.
I did a tummy tuck and then they woke up. And I'm like, what kind of tummy tuck? Like, did they have drains? What was the blood loss? Like, what sutures? I've had people are allergic to stitches. I have people get really wacky infections that don't happen in the United States.
Especially for like butt implants and stuff that people kind of go get done other places because you don't even know what it's made of.
Right. And fat grafting, I actually had a cluster of 4 patients that went to the same clinic in the Dominican Republic at the same time. And I'm still reconstructing them ears and ears on out for a very unusual bacteria. And it was all like a water contaminant. It really had to do with the way the equipment were sterilized, or let's say poorly sterilized. And it really is psychologically damaging, physically deforming. It also like is psychologically damaging to me because I want to do something that's good to promote confidence, to promote people's well-being. And now I'm taking care of this devastating complication in which I felt like I was whacking a mole, trying to take out like all of these things, causing deformities to be able to treat a life-threatening infection. It's not where I want to be.
And trying to wash it out with an antimicrobial like hypochlorous acid spray to try and kill anything else that's trying to grow.
Right. I mean, it's just really... it's heart-wrenching for me to be in that position, and I empathize a lot with them, which is why I would go after work to go take care of them in the hospital 3 days a week and 1 day on the weekend because they deserve better than what they got.
Right. But that's what happens when you cut corners. You don't do your research.
Yeah.
And you try and get the cheapest thing out there.
And I think they really did try to do as best the research that they could, but sometimes you just don't know. And it could be like a 1 in a million thing, and we only get to see the bad part, right? I always say that there's a bias. Like I don't see all the surgeries that went on somewhere else that went well. I get to see the bad ones. But again, if it happens to you,
it's 100%. It's
100% happening to you.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And I'm not infallible either. Like my patients have complications. I've had patients that have bled after surgery, had infections, have had seromas, have had wound healing complications, but they're here. And they tend to be not life-threatening or devastating injuries. And we promptly take care of them.
And catch it sooner.
Catch it early, like mediated, take care of you, make sure that you have the best post-operative care. And that's, there's no shame in going anywhere and having these complications. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that, like, if you're my patient and I catch it quickly, I can, get you through without minimal loss of time, tissue, without ever getting to the life-threatening stage. You go somewhere else and you don't have access to somebody that can assess it quickly. You might be sitting on it. You might be going to the ER who might dismiss you and not call somebody, which is what happened with some of these ladies. They went to the ER and the ER is like, but there's nothing I can do for you. You got to find someone, right? And then that delays your care, that delays your ability to get care
Especially
quickly.
if people are booked out 3 and 4 months. Mm-hmm. Or if you're trying to do something under insurance and they don't take your insurance and you're the one calling around trying to find somebody to take your insurance.
Right. And don't take it personally if you come to me and you're using Korean skincare and I say that might be the reason why you have perioral dermatitis or eyelid dermatitis. Right. Like, I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just trying to say, like, this could be something because I don't know what's in there. And we're going to treat
tell
you
people, you could have been using, not calling anybody out, like Estee Lauder. Not saying that that's the problem or anything, but you could have used that for 15 years. You've never had a problem, and they may have changed one ingredient in their formula, and you don't even know it, and that will cause you flare. Because that's the argument that I get. Well, I've been using it my entire life. You can acquire an allergy to Neosporin that you've used your entire life due to the niacin that's in it. So I tell everybody, we will always add it in one at a time. I'm not here to shame you. We will just take it back down to the bare bones and then rebuild you a new treatment regimen.
Right. And then maybe get you back to doing the 12 steps because prompts to you.
If it makes you happy, it makes you happy, but you're not getting a prednisone shot every week. That's just not how that rolls.
Yeah, there's side effects to that that are pretty significant to someone's life. And you just want to do what's reasonable.
And if you just switch one product out or stop one product, that may be all you have to do, and you can keep the other 14 that you absolutely love.
Yeah, it's about identifying the one thing that's causing the side effect and eliminating that or substituting that by somebody else that's acceptable in that routine. But I do think that most 12-year-olds do not need 15 things that are on their face. And sometimes it saddens me because I feel like it's taking away their childhood and trying to prompt them into womanhood a little bit too early, because it only takes you being on this side.
It actually makes them age faster too when they're using all those excessive products, because that skin barrier is already breaking down. Remember we talked about slice of bread in the very first or second episode? That bread's just crumbling.
Yeah, you don't want to get there too quickly. Just enjoy your life. Enjoy all the phases of life. We're going to go through them no matter what, right? Luckily, I guess you're lucky if you age, right? The alternative isn't great. But aging is a great thing. That means you're going to live your life, and we're here to help you age as gracefully as you want to. But let's not start by eliminating like the fun things about just childhood and not having to adhere to some 15-step regimen when you're 12. Probably not what you need.
Not realistic either.
Yeah.
Especially if you have to sleep in it and then get up and peel it all off and start again.
I don't know. I mean, maybe teenagers are the ones that have the time to do all of that. And I love that they care about their skin and their appearance. And I think it's okay. You just want to make sure that it stays in the reasonable realm, and it doesn't go into developing like self-esteem issues, body dysmorphic disorder issues, eating disorders and all these other things. Like, I have boys, but I still watch them because these things happen in boys as well. And if it's a normal like curiosity, like now becoming a teenager and I want to explore these things, it's great. We just got to make sure it doesn't go into
past
something
that I have to have this to fit in. I have to have this to be the person.
Yeah, that becomes something that is actually like harmful psychologically and emotionally. Yeah.
Well, at this point, I think maybe in the next few episodes, we'll start talking about atopic dermatitis and stuff like psoriasis, especially when the weather's changing and people are going through flares during that time. And I'll kind of we'll round about and fit a lot of this back in.
All right. Sounds great. Well, I'm Rosie Roeder.
And I'm Andrea Spar.
And we are the Rejuveness Podcast.
And don't forget to like, comment, and share below.
All right. We'll see you next time.